so much stuff to go through since I was on vacation. So we got a Tuesday stream with Varga support along with B-Hero, along with Dokovan with Vajrua ride line, along with the Almajestar support, and the Blaster Blade, the Vanguard, the final promo for monthly Bushiroad. So let's begin. So starting off, we're going to go with the Tuesday stream with the Varga support with Stealth Fiend Benro Crow, which is grade 2 with compound skills. Auto, when retired from rear guard by your grade 3 Varga, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. This is not bad for Varga because, of course, being another option when it gets retired, you still get benefit, but I'd rather have cards that can remove themselves from the field beforehand, in my opinion. In which we go to Battle Monk of Raging Flame Rogose, which is a grade 1 with compound skills. Auto, when placed on rear guard, if you have at least a grade 3 Varga Vanguard, your opponent cannot intercept until the end of turn, which is going to be very helpful for Varga because depending on the deck, preventing them from removing the front row is just very helpful. And also, it gives you the ability to kill them yourself. In which we got the second skill where Auto Rear Guard, when any player's unit is retired from the front row in the same column as this unit during your turn, it could even be your opponent's side of the field, by the way. If you have at least a grade 3 Varga Vanguard, cost, retire this unit to draw a card. Extra draw power for Varga is just nice, but the main part is the preventing the intercept. And now to new B-Hero support, we start off with Galactic B-Hero Able Mats, which is grade 2 when to confirm the skills. Count rear guard. If your order zone has 2 or more bases, plus 5k on opponent's turn 2. With the second skill, Auto Rear Guard, when this card attacks a Vanguard, cause energy blast 3, choose any number of bases in your order zone, stand them, and soul charge 1 for every one you stand, which is really good because you still get resources and you get to reuse your bases for defensive purposes, which I like. Because before you can either scout call or guard, but now you can actually do both because of with this card. So overall, this is a nice new addition. In which we go to Galactic B-Hero Sender Ferris, which is a grade 1 with compound skills. Count rear guard. If your order zone has 2 or more bases, this card gives us 5k power. Opponent's turn 2. In which the second skill is Act Rear Guard. Once per turn, if you have a Vanguard B-Hero, costs energy blast 3, rest a base in your order zone, choose one of your scouted cards with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard, and call it to rear guard. The nice thing about this card compared to you using your base to scout is that this one doesn't cost you a card from your hand. And since it doesn't cost you a card in your hand, it basically means that you can build up your field much better. So overall, another nice new addition. And now into the Dokovan stream for Thursday. First off, for the Almajestar support with Griffith's Chimera, which is a grade 2 when comparing the skills. Auto, when placed on rear guard, if your Vanguard is Almajestar, causes card a card from your hand, look at top 2 cards of deck, choose 1 card from one of them to put to hand, put the other to the top of your deck or into your soul, and this card is 5k power in turn. Other than early game usage for Almajestar, this card isn't that great, mainly with the problem that it's only on place only. Other than that, I can say this card maybe has some usage of setup, but I can see other better cards than this. Like this one, Star Servant Demon Girl Befronz, which is grade 1 with keep power and skills. Auto, when placed on rear guard from hand, cost counterblast 1, look at top 3 cards of deck, choose 1 card from among them, put to hand, choose 1 to put to soul, and put the other to the drop zone. That is already really good because it's just top 3 card deck filtering. And the choice soul charge could literally be your setup play, and this skill is already generic for basically every dark state deck to use. So this card can get expensive, especially with the second skill, which helps out Almajestar a lot, where it's Act Rear Guard. Once per turn, if your Vanguard is Almajestar, costs Soul Blast 1, Energy Blast 3, search your deck for either 1 Astrodia or 1 critical trigger and put it to your soul and shuffle your deck. If you put the soul, choose a card with a different name and grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from your drop zone and call it to rear guard. This is just so good because yes, it is more so with a Bico Mass part because you're putting an Astrodia to your soul from directly, but the good part is that you can choose a crit and put it into your soul on top of being able to get additional superior call, which is an extra +1 for the deck that actually is really needed, that is not from the deck itself, because you can easily deck out from basically your drive checks plus your soul charging. So the fact that you can just use from the drop zone is nice, and setting up your play is also really nice. Overall, this is just a very cool new addition for Almajestar that is just an immediate 4 of the deck. And the first skill is going to make me afraid that this is going to be generically used for pretty much every dark state deck, and it's going to make it expensive. And now for the new Sky Raider ride line, which is Vajrua, and that's literally the starter's name. In which we go to the grade 1 with K power, Rising Star Vajrua, which has the skill of Count Vanguard during your turn. This card gives us 2k power for each of your rear guards. The idea of Vajrua is that you want to build up your field presence and basically basically, even if you do lose those rear guards, you can still revive them. Hence the second skill where Count Vanguard, if you would ride from the right deck, you can Soul Blast one instead of discarding card from your hand. Saves up your hand and basically just have that rear guard. In which we go to Shooting Star Vajrua, which is the grade 2 with 10k power. The skill is act Vanguard once per turn. You have 4 or more rear guards. Cost reveal a Vajrua from your right deck and crit +1 to end turn. Yep, show your grade 3 and it's basically an early game pressure if you have a full field basically. Overall not too bad, but the second skill is auto. When rolled upon, look at top 7 cards of your deck to choose up to 1 grade 2 from among them, reveal it, put to your hand, of course shuffle your deck. If it was rolled by a grade 3 Vajrua, look at your whole deck instead of top 7. What I like is that this skill is just generic for any ride deck. If you have like a bad ride line for Dragon Empire, you can literally just mash this in because of this second skill being generic. Finally, to the boss unit, that is a grade 3 with drinking power, that is also rare, meaning it's a budget deck. Rewrite the Star Vajrua. It has a skill, act Vanguard once per turn, costs Energy Blast 3, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, bind it, and then choose up to 1 grade 2 unit from your drop zone and call it to rear guard. And then the second skill is, auto when Vanguard, when this card attacks, cost Count Blast 1, choose one of your grade 2 rear guards and stand it. Focuses around grade 2 and it's just very easy to play, basically very budget, and it's a rare boss unit. I'm very surprised it's not much stronger, but I'm gonna assume that future support will actually make this deck a lot stronger for this 1 week skill because of course manga reasons. But for a budget friendly deck, I would have to say this is a pretty good entry. Wish it was in a start deck instead. In which we go to the special mood normal order, Stardust Blade. It's a grade 2 and it has this skill where you play it if your Vanguard is Vajrua, and you play it by counterblasting 1. Look at top right of your deck and then choose 1 unit card that's grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from among them and call it to rear guard. And shuffle your deck and then choose one of your Vanguards. It gets this ability in the end of turn. Auto Vanguard. When your rear guard is retired by your opponent's card ability, search your deck for 1 normal unit and call it to rear guard, and of course shuffle your deck. And it also gets the skill where Count Vanguard. This unit gets plus 3k power for each normal unit from your rear guard and your drop zone. As you can tell from Vajrua itself already, it doesn't really have much on its own, but thanks to this order card, it gets something extra. Hopefully they will make a stronger Vajrua in the future. But the nice anti-nuke protection, sort of, is actually pretty nice, because the idea of Vajrua is of course building up your rear guards, which makes me wonder why this isn't Cater Sanctuary since it's very white like armor instead of Dragon Empire, even though yes, it's still a dragon. Overall, still pretty nice so far for a budget option.
Finally, Blaster Blade the Vanguard, the last monthly Bushiroad promo, and very fitting too. But anyway, it's a grade 2 with 10 power and the skill is Count Soul. If your Vanguard is Majesty Lord Blaster, the base power is 18,000. Keep in mind this is an original Blaster Blade, so this isn't going to count towards Majesty Lord Blaster's skill, but being 18k base with this skill plus Majesty Lord Blaster skill makes it 23k base power basically. Pretty good defensive numbers right there. And plus offense on top of that basically. But the second skill is Auto Hand. At the end of battle, your Vanguard attack costs Count Blast 1. Bind a grade 3 Blaster Royal Paladin Vanguard. Ride this card as stand, and this unit gives us 5k power to end turn. At the end of the battle that this unit attacked, ride the bound card for this cost as rest. So basically it's like Exculpate the Blaster. Funny enough, it says at the end of the battle that your Vanguard attacked. It meaning you can technically do this more than once per turn, just on how they word. Sure, you have to bind a grade 3 Blaster Vanguard, but it would be funny if you could actually pull this off more than once, since it is technically possible. But anyway, last skill, Auto. When placed on Vanguard, cost Energy Blast 3, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. You mainly use this for the second skill where you basically play Exculpate the Blaster, but overall this is actually pretty good because you basically get Exculpate the Blaster in D series now. Mainly for Majesty Lord, but any other Royal Paladin Blasters in the future as well if they actually do make it. In Premium's case, you got a second candidate based on Messiah Lord Blaster. But overall, this is actually a very good promo, and my problem is still good promos that might be hard to find. Finally, next week we got a new Brand Gate Ryland that is probably based on Nova Grappler, and it looks cool already. So that's it for these reveals. What do you guys think about all the new support along with the new Vajrua ride line? Honestly, the new support is just all pretty cool, especially seeing Blaster Blade the Vanguard. But the new Vajrua ride line, yes, I was expecting it in this set, but I wasn't expecting a second Dragon Empire ride line in this set, for one. And seeing Vajrua ride line as basically a budget ride line, I have to say, this is a pretty good entry deck for beginners. And also his ride line is very generic. You could technically just run this as any Dragon Empire ride line, since the grade 1 and grade 2 don't really need Vajra itself. Sure, the grade 2 will want you to ride grade 3 Vajra so you could search through your whole deck, but if you're not using it, you could just go through your top 7 instead, which is actually still not too bad. And I get the idea, new beginning player using weak cards, and over time it's gonna get stronger. So hopefully, Vajra is gonna get a new form later on that will be stronger. But on that, that's it for this, and see you all next time.